Okay, so we've just applied the initial skin weight to the boots, and if I select the toe, you can see it's starting to drive the geometry. So select the ankle. Okay. What we'll look at now is, as you can see, as I start to rotate the toe joint, the geometry doesn't follow that great. So the initial skin weighting process is sort of a best approximation, and treat it like that. So what you will need to do is go in and start painting the skin weights. First of all, the best way of looking at your mesh is to make sure you have wireframe unshaded, okay, and that way you can see how it is, how the joints are driving the mesh. Before we do go and start painting the skin weights, I find it's a much easier process if you go through the range of motion on the joints, and that way you don't have to keep coming out of the skin weighting process, moving the joints and see how the influence is going. Okay, so let's do a little bit of prep. In the next video I'll do the full skeleton, or show you what you need for the full skeleton. And but what we'll do is just have a look at the joint range for the boots, because that's what we're going to edit the skin weights. Alright, so let's start with the left side, and let's start with the toe. So what I do first of all is key the joint at frame 0, and let me just take that down to about 100 frames, and I go through the range of motion every 10 frames, and this is just a habit that I've got into, and the reason I do every 10 frames is that literally over those 10 frames it will gradually get to the full position, so it's quite an ideal range to see the full extent of the movement. Okay, so with the toe I'll rotate it up, okay, and for skin weighting, if you take the joints beyond its sort of normal range, then you can guarantee that it'll work with animation, because animation will never take it that far. Okay, so frame 10, key it at its extreme, and then middle drag and copy from 0 to 20 and key that, so it goes 10th frame is up and then back to 0. Okay, so then 30, let's take it down, so that range of motion is never that extreme. Key it there, and then again steal the 0 to 40. So this is just a habit. I always go range of motion 0, next range of motion 0, let's do 50, let's take it to that side, and then steal the 0, and then 70, go to that side, and then steal the 0. Okay, so as you can see, I've just got literally a range of motion to deal with. Okay, so if you wanted to do the twists, you could add those as an extra range. Just for the sake of this video, I'll leave it there. So that range ended at 80. I will literally go and start the ankle at 80, so make sure you key it, and 90, so 10 frames, go through range of motion, and as you can see, because you're doing every 10 frames, you soon start eating up your frame range. For the full skeleton, I generally end up with an animation of about 2,000–3,000 frames. Don't forget, you can zoom in on the range by sliding your slider bar, so that you don't have to, once you get into the thousands, you don't have to get quite an overall view. You can slide it and get very specific and use that to move it around. Okay, so 90 and then 100. I'm just going to steal that frame.